and on, that had been studying these phenomena for 20, 30 years. I had no idea.
I've been involved in hundreds of UFO cases in in-depth investigation. Thousands of pictures that I've looked at, about 1,000 that I've really examined in detail.
And when you look at the totality of the evidence, what is unique about Dr. Kitai's data, it is the most consistent, systematic, replicated set of information over a prolonged period of time that's been independently observed at various times by multiple individuals.
This is the only case that I know of where this much data exists over this amount of time, prior to and after a significant event. This is one of my favorite photographs taken by Dr. Kitai. Taken camera in the same location, the lights in the same location as the Phoenix lights, but taken a month after 9/11. The film was what convinced me that the characteristics were not those of these halogen lights and airplane lights and all the other kind of lights that I could get a measurement on and look, make the graph of the different kinds of flares and separate out the color and the brightness. My conclusion about the Phoenix lights is that there is nothing that I can get a match to at the data table. It's not Hale-Bopp, it's not stars, it's not aircraft lights, it's certainly not car lights. For a number of reasons, it's not flares.
If it's not some sort of technology that's made by us, then we have to seriously entertain the hypothesis that it is some sort of expression of highly intelligent beings.
The size of the craft on the Phoenix light display seemed to be far beyond anything that we have as a homegrown craft. So my suspicion is that it's precisely what we think it is. It's an alien craft.
Ultimately, it's going to be the people that will sort these things out rather than the government. And the worst thing that can happen to us would be as if the government said, well, it was flares, go back to sleep.
For a long time, since the 1940s, there's a concerted effort to try and keep this material from the public. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to hide it in plain sight. Make it so that credible experiences that come out, credible reports, sightings are surrounded with ridicule, surrounded with the debunkers who try and give prosaic explanations for something which just defies explanation.
There is a small percentage things that cannot be explained.
But even if it's only 1% that can't be explained, or if it's 1/1000th of 1%, that's enough. It only takes one.
The Phoenix lights are tremendously significant because they're another wake-up call for people who are skeptical or people who are secretly wondering what it's all about. And the Phoenix lights were so visible, seen by so many, and so publicly acknowledged, even in the media.
If you can create a structured controversy, say, I'm going to let the flare story happen, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to believe it and some people are, but let's see how it goes. And then let's get on the phone and let's call up USA Today, CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, and let it trickle down through the news management that we think this story should be covered. You get your people there. And it happened. It happened in a big way.
It happened fast and turned a lot of heads, made worldwide news, and then it was denied.
Why wouldn't all these news media people who are in a perfect position to investigate all this, why aren't they at the least bit curious? Why don't they want to know what it is?
Look what happened in '52 when all those craft flew around the Capitol building and everybody went, 4,000 people saw them and looked up and went, oh my God, oh my God. Nothing happened. The word barely got out across the country. That's not true anymore.
The Phoenix Lights is the first case, that's the first case where there was chat rooms about it. Microsoft Network Forums had a weekly chat room about the Phoenix Lights.
It was the Phoenix Lights website I had gone to, and the first thing I thought was just like, the color and the shape of the lights. It was just like, this is what I saw.
That's the way that everything will go in the next wave for investigating UFO cases and talking about it. It's going to be the internet as the tool. So as sightings like the Phoenix Lights have happened elsewhere in the world, people can go, hey, it's just like we saw in Phoenix.
So many witnesses, thousands and millions of witnesses all over the planet are telling the media all over the planet basically the same story.
Phoenix Lights had global impact because of the international news that happened about it, not dismissing it. Not only was it a very significant mass sighting, many investigators call it the largest sighting ever, lasting the longest amount of time, seen by the largest number of people. Grand scale. But at another level, global media. It was all over the news everywhere for a long time, months and months. And then every year, it gets on the media again because there's something significant about it.
When I first joined the military, I put in for Luke for the simple fact that the occurrence of 97. I was hoping to maybe see something myself.
When the orbs returned in January of '98, I was on the roof of our building at Village Labs, having been on alert. Dr. Lynn called. We had been alerted that the orbs had been showing up the nights before. So everyone, the Phoenix Lights Video Witnesses Club, if you will, were all ready with their cameras in their various positions around the valley.
When I first stepped out on my balcony and saw the two amber orbs to the southwest, I dropped my soda on the balcony and ran in to grab my video camera.
And I put the spotter scope right on it, I zeroed in it, and it stayed right on it. And what was extraordinary is that light went off and it came on again over a 20-minute period, and it did not move from that position because it stayed fixed in the scope. I have to tell you, I was really deeply impressed by the display that unfolded. As Jim came up to join me, we really were now together to witness a grand display of several orbs that were variously in a straight line, as if you could draw a ruler or lay a ruler end to end, lights going on and off in the same positions, and then ending up in a triangle as if to communicate a simple geometric base message.
A lot of the times the orbs will line up in a straight line. They'll move into patterns, mostly geometric patterns. Greater frequency of the triangular shape.
It was impressive, and we both reacted as if this was an extraordinary event and certainly not a display of flares thanks to the military.
I've been sitting out on the balcony every night since. I've got some good footage so far, and it's pretty compelling.
I think society is influenced, of course, by Hollywood and the perception that, you know, there's this fear element and that's a natural response.
Hollywood has really trained us to feel that aliens are scary and they're going to hurt us, and, you know, there's really no way to know what to expect except for what we've been trained to believe.
Hollywood likes the violence. All the movies and all the E.T. movies, every time E.T. and UFOs and all this is involved, 95% of it's violence, where they're attacking us, they're killing us. So a lot of people has a mindset right here that, hey, those are evil people, those are evil beings, they're here to hurt me. And yet, I think that's the furthest thing from the truth there is.
If I would see something in the daytime, big, huge thing coming flying over, I think I'd be a little afraid.
When children especially saw this mile-long triangle craft, they were scared. Their initial reaction was fear. But as it slowly passed right over their heads, silent, gliding right over them, not only children but adults as well felt a connection to the phenomena, felt a calmness take over them.
Nobody I talked to said I was terrified. What they said was, I was amazed, I was astounded, it was incredible, I was excited.
It amazes me that we got to see something that large, that low to the ground, that slow, no visible means of propulsion whatsoever, no noise whatsoever, and it was able to stay up and it did no damage.